Chapter 7, Planting Seeds of Change, the Long-Term Struggle for the Heart of Education. I want to first thank everyone who's made it this far. I know it's a lot to get through, but I hope you enjoyed the narrative and the pictures. And above all, I hope you learned why your kids' teachers are so stressed out. The title of this chapter sums up nicely what I think change will look like. There is no one-size solution to the problems we are facing in education. Every district has its own issues, yet districts all over are being ripped apart by the issues discussed in this video. Change in any district will be a long-term struggle, where parents become more aware of issues as more teachers find ways of making their stories heard. As stated, the history of any district is not written down in admin speeches, but emerges through the daily experiences of teachers. As parents learn about what has been happening at their kids' school, they'll demand school board members who will hold the superintendent accountable. But none of this will happen without some sort of forum for parents to discuss what they've heard. Though social media has done a lot of damage, it is still very useful to form group chats and forums. This is still one of the easiest ways to connect parents to a forum that allows people to freely discuss district issues. To be clear, these forums can and will be trolled by admin and their cronies, but the benefits are far greater. Like reality, change is messy and complicated. Forums can be messy. You have to sort through a lot of info and stories, but over time, patterns emerge and a truth is uncovered. Above all, change is a long-term struggle. As mentioned, it can take years to vote in new school board members. With the superintendent and board effectively controlling the image of the district, it can be hard to convince other parents about what is happening behind the curtains, especially when teachers are scared of the repercussions if they speak out. Unfortunately, the worse the district, the more silent the teachers are. Fear is a powerful political tool. Admins set examples for all staff by playing musical chairs with disloyal principals. Our silence is taken as loyalty. Sadly, it's effective. It's important to remember that admin and the board don't necessarily have to prove that they're right in order to stay in power. It's more effective to convince voters that there are no problems, and thus it's less work for voters, as they can just keep the same people in power. The burden of proof is always on the opposition. This is especially true for empty nest parents whose kids graduated years ago. These parents have no current kids in the district and often vote based on how they remember the district used to be, while being completely unaware of what's happened. This isn't surprising. I mean, who is going to tell them? They don't call it a struggle because it's easy, and the uphill battle that is necessary to bring in a new district leadership is sure to be stressful. Stress can lead to hopelessness, which can cause anger. I bring this up to caution anyone watching this video to not turn this struggle into a purity test or inquisition. Shouting down a superintendent or board member at a meeting is not helping anyone. All it takes is one angry parent, and admin can rebrand any struggle as an out-of-control mob. All it takes is one. It's not fair, but honestly, is anything in this video fair? I stated in the title that this is a long-term struggle for the heart of education. But what is the heart of education? Really what I'm asking is, how should schools function? Teachers have rarely had a say in this because the school board and superintendent have always answered it in their district vision statement. But what if parents and teachers had a say? Would you still have room clearings? Would you have kindergartners pumping out nonsense words? I'd hope by now the answer is no. It's easy to list some of the obvious things to get rid of, but much more difficult to come to any sort of consensus on shared district values and a district vision that will unify and guide all schools and staff. Simply put, it's easier to criticize the crown than it is to wear it. Many parents, and especially teachers, are so used to not having a say that they actually believe that they shouldn't have a part in district-level decisions because they're not qualified. I want to push back against this and show that everyone watching this is more qualified than you think. The heart of education is not a perfect system, but an idea about how schools function best for the staff and students. Teaching is not an exact science, but more like an art or craft that is constantly changing, evolving, and adapting. So too is our conception of how our schools and our district should function. Parents don't have to have teaching expertise to know that they want safe schools where teachers can actually do their jobs, and fun lessons that allow students to explore new ideas, not obsessively cramming for standardized tests. Parents and teachers are fully capable of implementing their own ideas. You don't need an admin license to have ideas, but unfortunately, the reality is that all district decisions come from the top. But here's a question: why does everything have to come from the top? If you were superintendent, would you put the crown on and simply just be the next admin in complete control? This hints at the larger problem. It's not just about replacing the super and board with people you like. Power can corrupt anyone, but absolute power absolutely corrupts everyone. The heart of education doesn't need to look the same in every district, as it should be an extension of the shared values of the community. This only works when teachers and parents have a say. District change doesn't happen if you just want to elect a new board and admin to come up with a better district vision. It's still just a few people at the top making decisions for everyone. It's so important that any struggle for change be rooted in making our education system more inclusive, democratic, and responsive to the needs and ideas of the community. Endless admin will state that their district is already inclusive and responsive to the community. I don't need to waste time explaining why this isn't true, but let's consider how it looks to be inclusive and responsive. Is it inclusive or responsive to have a few people come up with a district vision that's set in stone? Nope. To be clear, you obviously wouldn't want thousands of voters competing for what's included in the district vision, nor would you want a vision that changes every week. But considering this video, I'd bet most parents would want some sort of language about how behavior is dealt with and how much weight is put on standardized tests. That's being inclusive and responsive. But folks, a more inclusive district vision means nothing without action. You'll find endless district visions with flowery language about behavior and testing. They're nothing but empty words that don't reflect the realities that the average teacher faces each day. Change is more than words on paper. A district cannot be inclusive if it's not transparent. Transparency is directly related to accountability. When admin aren't transparent, they need to be held accountable. And if accountability is impossible under the current system, then staff and parents should have an impeachment option that goes above the school board. Folks, these questions of what the district should look like are just as important as the action needed to create change. But it's so important to state that you don't have to have all the answers before you push for change. The issues discussed in this video don't require a perfect solution first. If something is truly wrong, then the first step is to take action to stop it. I want to stress my personal belief that solutions should not just vary among districts, but also for schools too. Schools need more autonomy. They shouldn't have to radio central command for approval with everything. As we consider how to create change in the district and what change can look like, my hope is that this chapter and the entire video have created a sense of urgency for why things cannot stay like this. I don't have the solutions for fixing every district, but I don't need to, because there is no one solution. My intentions were to show you the grim realities we teachers face so that parents can fight alongside teachers as we both advocate for what's truly best for the kids. I want to wrap up this chapter and this whole video with a request. Parents, please help us. We need your help. We need you to advocate for us and for your own kids, because nobody is listening to the teachers. Though there are districts with a superintendent and board that care about the staff, there are too many districts with teachers that live the nightmares in this video every single day. This can't continue. Considering everything in this video, are you surprised there's a teacher shortage? How do you recruit new and diverse teachers when they're treated so bad that they quit after a few years? Veteran teachers are leaving just as fast. It's understandable. Every year is a roll of the dice, and a veteran teacher has no more certainty or protection than a first-year teacher. We survive from year to year, but that's no way to live. We can't keep doing this. I'm not joking when I say that some of your kids' future teachers might be artificial intelligence programs, because nobody wants to do the job anymore. Teaching is supposed to be a lifelong career, not a 2-year stop on your way to corporate America. I truly wish we teachers could organize and fight this battle by ourselves, but I don't see it happening. Too many good teachers have left. We've been disrespected and ignored for so long that too many of us have lost the will to fight back. Simply put, parents, we can't do this without you. We need parents to amplify our teacher voices, because admin all over are not listening to us. It may seem like a lot, but is it so much to ask that parents stand up for the teachers who taught your kid how to read and write? For the longest time, For the longest time, we teachers have been overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated. There are endless parents watching this who are in the same boat, but it's the issues discussed in this video that have put us over the edge in terms of stress. Why are your kids' teachers so stressed? Well, for the same reason your kids are stressed about school. But now that you do know, what are you going to do to help change things? I'd start by forwarding this video to anyone you think will care about education. Then start talking to people. Spread the word. Plant seeds of change in minds and join us in the struggle for the heart of education. My name is Mr. B. Thank you for watching my video, and please forward it to anyone who cares.